السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته طلاب.
وعليكم السلام.
كتبوا اسماءكم بالشات رجاء. The Old Man and the Sea, we have a topic that we didn't discuss so significant about the title and the elements in the title. What are these elements? Let's see. Yes. The title of the novel or title of the novel, the first part. The title is divided into two parts or is made of two parts. The Old and the Sea. The Old Man is the first part and the Sea is the second part. Let's see the first part. Here the Old Man is defined when you want to know this character and you, as you have read the first 12 pages or maybe more, maybe less, the first thing we have noticed in page number 1 is his age, that he's old. He is defined by his age. He is old. And the narrator details everything that he does without ever letting the reader to forget his age. It means that the narrator gives us many details to show, to prove, to emphasize the age of the old man. So he does not let the reader forget this point, that he is old. We will see in one of the paragraphs proofs from the text. How do I know that the narrator emphasizes the old age of the central character? From the text. These are my proofs. أحيانا يسألكم يقول لكم examples، أحيانا يقول لكم proofs. proof هي الاسم أجمعها خلي لها اس، هي عكس proof بالفي وتنتهي اي في اي، هذاك الverb. The old man was thin and gaunt with deep wrinkles in the back of his neck. Wrinkles are the lines in the complexion here when someone becomes old. It starts in his 40s, it starts with the 40s and continues to be deeper and many wrinkles. So the old man was thin and gaunt. It is okay, thin and gaunt, but deep wrinkles, it shows his age, that he's old. Where are these deep wrinkles? In the back of his neck. That is on page number 2. Another quotation, this is said by the narrator. Again by the narrator, the speaker is the narrator, showing the age of the central character. Everything about him was old. Everything about him was old, except his eyes. We mentioned that, and they were the same color as the sea and were cheerful and undefeated. The same color, we mentioned why the same color of the sea as the sea, because they are, it shows that they are blue and were cheerful and undefeated. We discussed that also in page number, the first lecture. Another proof, another example that the old man, that the central character is old, or how old is he? The second part in the title, the sea. There is also the sea part. Note that it's the old man and the sea, not the old man and the boy, or just the old man. Why the writer chooses the sea? It suggests، ممكن تستخدمون فعل suggest، حلو هذا الفعل، بدل show، بدل describe، بدل explain، that the old man is in isolation from the people. So he is the old man with whom? With the sea and the sea. He is in isolation from people, from human beings. But he is not really alone when on the sea. When on the sea, he is not alone. How do I know that he is not alone? As this one line shows, no man was ever alone on the sea. No man was ever alone on the sea. That was on page 23. Of course, there's a description of a flock of ducks flying in the sky. he said, itching the sky. He was looking at them, how they fly in the sky, and he felt united with them, or he felt that they are his friends. That's why the narrator said, no man was ever alone on the sea, because of this scenery, this sight that he has seen. So the animals in the sky or the animals in the sea are united with him, are made friends with him. They decrease his loneliness, lessen his loneliness. He cannot be alone if he appreciates these creatures. We said that the setting is in Cuba, near Havana, in the 50s, mostly on the water. Mostly, the scenes are mostly on the water. When we finish the title, we will go to quotations that describe his struggle with the fish. And you will see that most of the novel is presented on the sea. Now, why did Hemingway choose the sea in the title? Why he chose the sea? Let's see. The novelist chose the sea. عندكم هنا did والفعل choose، يعني بالنسبة للطلاب اللي هم شوية النحو مالتهم تعبان، فتشيل الدد تخلي تشوز ترجعها للماضي، يعني تاخذ الماضي من الدد، تحذف الدد وتحذف الواي وتحذف علامة الاستفهام. The novelist chose the sea in the title because most of the novel takes place in the old man's boat out on the sea. So because most of the scene is in the old man's boat out on the sea, the writer chose the word sea. This is the first justification. So hence the title, The Old Man and the Sea. That's why we have the title, The Old Man and the Sea. Santiago, the old man, has to do battle not only with the fish, but also with the elements. So it is not only with the fish, with the sharks, with the sun, with the night, when he is in his boat. For example, he faces the sun. Since he was a child, it is mentioned in the novel, since he was a child, the sun hurts his eyes. He faces us, he faces the sun, hurts his eyes, the sun hurts his eyes, and also he faces the night. The night is too cold for comfort, too cold to be comfortable. You know, when you are cold, you cannot be comfortable. These are the elements, the sun and the coldness of the night, or the night. The old man interacts with his environment. He interacts with his environment, and he also comments frequently on the sun, comments on the moon, comments on the stars. This is, of course, mentioned in the novel. How do we have an example? Of course, we have many examples. Let's see here an example on being uncomfortable at a cold night. The fish never changed his course nor his direction. Of course هذه بالتايتل موجودة، أنا بقيتها حتى أشوف لكم إياها. هم مسويها PDF، ما خالين كل صفحة واحد، فقايل لنا الرقم ترى بالنص الأصلي 46، لكن أنا من أنطيكم الصفحة أقول لكم 18 امشي على النص اللي موجود عندكم. فأنت من تفتح الصفحة PDF تباوع فوق تلقي مكتوب 18، أو هي الصفحة نفسها مكتوب أسفل 18. فإحنا نمشي على هذا الترقيم، ما أمشي على هذا الترقيم لأن هذا ما راح تقدرون تلقوه، يعني لازم نتبع سطر سطر. فإحنا شو نسوي؟ نمشي على هذا الترقيم اللي هو بالصفحة. فهذه بالنص الأصلي 46، فاللي عنده النص الأصلي يقدر يمشي عليه، لكن المهم الكوتيشن هو نفسه. The fish never changed his course nor his direction all that night as far as the man could tell from watching the stars. It was cold. Here, now he is doing what? He's following the fish, and the fish did not change did not change the course, did not change the direction. The course is the way it swims, and his direction west or south or whatever. All that night, as far as the man could tell. So from watching the stars all that night. So he was fishing and following or chasing the fish at night. But when you fish at night, what happens to the fisherman? It was cold, he will be uncomfortable. It was cold after the sun went down. How do I know it is night? He mentioned here it is night, and then he again repeated it. The sun went down. هاي مرة أخرى أخذناها. It is repeated here. And the old man's sweat dried cold on his back and his arms and his old legs. That is on page 18. You know sweat, when you do exercise or when you run, you have a sweat on your face and on the body. Now this sweat is dried cold. At night it became cold, you know, just like small drops of water, and it is night and cold. So the sweat also became cold on his back, on his arms, on his old legs. You see how much toil he had spent, how much effort he had spent, this old man, that even his legs are sweating. Even his legs are sweating. This is a proof for being uncomfortable with the night. This is one element in the sea. Now the narrator describes the effect of the sun on the old man's eyes. We took the night and the coldness of the night. Now we take another element, the sun, on his eyes, the effect of the sun on his eyes. On page
آسفة أستاذ مقاطعة، بس شاهد أسامة قالت لي بلغج إنه طفت عندها فصل النت عندها، فإذا ترجع ممكن ندخليها إذا يجي النت.
نعم خلت تدخل شاهد أسامة مفتوح
هي بعد النت ما جاية، بس أخاف يجي عن مرة ثانية.
تمام حبقي مفتوح إن شاء الله. شكرا زينب. طيب زينب, read this quotation to change the boredom of the lecture for you.
Okay. Then the sun was bright and the glare came on the water, and then as it rose clear, the flat sea sent it back at his eyes so that it hurt sharply and he rode it without looking into it.
It hurt sharply and he rode sharply here, and he rode without looking into it. Here you have the sun was brighter and the glare came on the water. So if he avoided looking at the sky, he cannot escape from the sunshine because it is reflected on the water. The glare, the sunshine came on the water, the glare of the sunshine, you know, glare. إذا ما تعرفوها مو مشكلة. Yes, the reflection of the sunshine on the water. And then, as it rose clear, the flat sea sent it back. As it rose clear, the sun, when it rose above, the flat sea sent it back. Flat sea, because you know, the sea is the surface of the sea. So long and so wide, flatly, sent it back at his eyes, so that it hurt sharply, because you know the water acts just like a mirror or a glass. It reflects the light or the light of the sunshine sharply, and he rode without looking into it. Imagine, so he rose while closing his eyes or tries not looking at the sunshine and not looking at the water in order not to keep his eyes being hurt, by the sunshine. Of course, when you read the text, you will see that it is mentioned since he was a child. He suffered from the sunshine and it hurt his eyes. So I want another reader other than Zainab.
Can I?
Yes, Dania Majid.
All my life, the early sun has hurt my eyes, he thought, yet they are still good. In the evening, I can look straight into it without getting the blackness. It has more force in the evening too, but in the morning it is painful.
Okay, again on page number 12. You have to stop when you have a full stop, Dania. Don't read in that quickly. Well, here, all my life, the early sun has hurt my eyes. Do you see? All my life. This is where I told you he mentioned that. He thought. Do you see? He thought. Here, the narrator. How did the narrator hear him? I cannot hear what do you think of. هسه انتوا بيش تفكرون اني ما اعرف. محاضرة عندكم شغلة معينة بدماغكم. I cannot know, and you also cannot know what do I think of. But when the writer makes the narrator tells us what does the character thinks, here the narrator plays which role? The objective narrator or the omniscient narrator? I mentioned that before in the previous lectures. He is the
omniscient narrator.
Omniscient, exactly, Afnan, omniscient narrator. Omniscient narrator in the sense that the narrator does what? Knows everything. The narrator knows everything, even the thoughts of characters. Here, the old man thinks in this way, that all his life, the sun, early sun means the beginning of day, hurt my eyes. Then he continues thinking, yet they are still good. My eyes are still good. In the evening, I can look straight into it without getting the blackness. So when he, when it is the morning, in the morning or afternoon or late morning, there is a blackness in his eyes. But when it is the evening, he can look straight into it without getting the blackness. So this is the suffering of the old man, that he gets the blackness and his eyes hurts him because of the sun. It has more force in the evening too, but in the morning it is painful. There is a force of the sun in the evening, but it is painful in the morning. Here, because you know, this it is so intelligent from Ernest Hemingway to choose this description, to choose this incident, pardon, not description. Because you know, when you are on the sea, there is nothing that covers you, nothing that stands between you and the sun. When you are in the street, there are blocks, there are houses, there are buildings or trees. But on the sea, there is nothing. You have only the water and the roof, which is the sky. The writer paid attention to this incident, to this idea, and made use of it, made a good use of it to show its influence on fishermen, on seamen, رجال اللي يعملون بالبحر. What kind of effects they get from the sea. Maybe you think it romantically, you think of the sea romantically, but here the writer shows us, for a person who works all his life in the sea, becomes or gets certain defects, certain weaknesses from the sea. Here we have weaknesses in the eye, getting cold at night, and you know, being depending on fishing, also being poor. This is later will be mentioned when you read on. At the end, we will have the whole title of the novel, The Old Man and the Sea. I told you before, man against nature, man and nature. Nature is made by God. I told you before that there is a novel called Moby Dick by Herman Melville, another American writer in the 19th century. He also mentioned Moby Dick is a fish, just like the marlin, not a whale, but a giant fish. And he said, call me Ishmael. He called himself Ishmael. And he wanted to to catch that fish. But again, the fish is so strong and so giant that it is not easy to catch it. Here the writer considered it to be man against God, because God created nature in this way, and God made nature strong, and here man has to defy God. هذا طبعا يبين الأمريكان الأشخاص اللي هربوا من بريطانيا ومن إسبانيا ومن ألمانيا ومن دول أخرى فرنسا وجوي بأمريكا وقتلوا 5 ملايين هندي. هم يسموهم هندي أحمر بس هم دول كانوا مسلمين السكان الأصليين. قتلوا 5 ملايين شخص وبعده يقول أنا دا أتحدى الإله. وهو هرب من الاستعباد اللي موجود بديانتهم، التعصب الموجود بالديانة الكاثوليكية والأرثوذكسية، إجا على بريطانيا وأسس ديانة جديدة اسمها البروتستانتية همينة تابعة المسيحية. لكن هو أيضا he also used a prejudice, he also was violent against people، وبدأ استعباد جديد للأفارقة. يعني هسه مواضيع البحث مالتي ويا الرابع على الاستعباد والعنصرية واللي هي الprejudice against black people. So here let's see how this title is different somewhat. Why? Because you don't feel that the old man is completely against nature, but you feel that sometimes he is in battle with nature, and if he won or if he lost, it is he appreciates both situations. The title of the novel is simple and clear, The Old Man and the Sea, simple and clear, which refers to the novelist's simplicity. It reflects the novelist's simplicity or mirrors the novelist's simplicity. The title explains the old man's central purpose in life. The Old Man and the Sea, what is the central purpose? His battle. His battle. طبعا الأمريكان ما يلفظون الدبل تي. Battle يقول لك. البريطانيين يلفظون. His battle. Sometimes winning, sometimes losing against nature. Sometimes winning against nature, sometimes losing against nature. فهنا ما تتكرر against nature. هي نفسها winning و losing علي. Against nature, against the sea, and against its inhabitants. When you say nature, you don't mean only the sea. You mean the sea, the sky, the animals, the sun, the coldness of the night. The sea only, you know, with its waves, the craft of the sea, its inhabitants, the inhabitants of the sea, sea animals. So he is in battle with all these, nature, sea, inhabitants, either winning or losing. وهاي مو تقول لي losing ماكو داعي ال ثقيلة، عندك علة وراها فال تصير خفيفة. losing. What else? The title may also symbolize the man's harmony with his environment. So you have both. You have a battle and you have a harmony. Man with environment. A battle of man with the nature, with the sea, with the inhabitants of the sea. This is the significance of the title, which I wanted to show you because I felt it is really important. Do you have a question before I move to another topic? You don't have a question. Let's see part of the character of Santiago. Why there is so much talk about baseball, especially Do DiMaggio in The Old Man and the Sea? Have you noticed there is a talk about baseball between the old man and the boy, between Santiago and Manolin? Who read till page 12 at least can notice that.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I think that it was his dream or something that he was into.
It was his dream to be a baseball player, you mean? The dream of Santiago?
Yeah, kinda, and maybe it was something that he's into. Maybe he likes baseball to see the players and these stuff.
I see. I see. Let's see. It is really his dream. Well, who's DiMaggio? Who's Joe DiMaggio? Who knows about this player? He's a baseball player. Where? Should know where. Okay. In which team? In which team? Against whom they play? You know nothing. He is not fancy. He is a real character. He is, you know, he is a real person, just like any other player. So if you have checked it in the internet, you can know him. Wait a minute, please. هذه لقطة. Yes. Now there is a conversation here between the boy and the old man. كوثر ظافر Yes, كوثر ظافر. ما محمد عصام. بس اقرأ شو ما أريد منكم. محمد عصام. خليكم تاركين الرواية وعايفيها ولا كأنه. نعم.
نعم
أكيد. وظاهر لك الشير وارفع صوتك، ما أسمع شيء ترى.
دكتور عدد شوية صوتي ما يخالف العقل.
يلا اقرأ شوية، اقرأ أول محادثتين. حيصير الثاني يعني نور جمال مرهون. نور جمال مرهون. نعم. يلا انتي الدور الآخر.
Tell me about the baseball. The boy asked him. In the American League, it is Yankees. As I said, the old man said happily.
نور جمال يعني هو محمد عصام ده يقرأ دور البوي، انتي تقرين دور سانتياغو. فهو يقرأ السطر الأول، انتي تقرين السطر الثاني. وينها نور جمال؟ فاتن حميد.
نعم دكتورة.
نعم بنتي، ارفعي صوتك. ارفعي صوتك.
In the أمريكان
شنو؟ شنو أمريكان؟ منو قال أمريكان؟ ده تقرين إنجليزي لو عراقي؟ بايع الكلمة زين. عندك هنا علة. اقري لي العلة هنا. يلا اقري، افتحي المايك مالتش، افتحيه. شهد أسامة، مو شهد أسامة، أويس محمد كريم. ما يلا شهد أسامة اقري ماما. واضح انه نور جمال ما تعرف تقرأ، لا هي ولا فاتن. اقري شهد أسامة، اقري ويا محمد عصام. شهد أسامة. اوكي مو شهد أسامة، عندها مشكلة. اياد ماجد.
نعم
اياد.
دكتور.
نعم ويا عصام، اقرأ ويا محمد عصام.
In the American League, it's the Yankees, as I said. The old man said
سمعتي
happily.
نور؟ سمعتي نور؟ أمريكان مو أمريكان.
أستاذة نور تقول النت شو يسموها مالتها المايك ما دا يشتغل، هسه دزت لي.
طيب أوكي ما يخالف، أنا عفتها يعني
دكتورة.
هي ما دا تجاوب.
دكتورة قالوا صحتي اسمي آسفة لأنه النت حيل ضعيف وأصلا مشكلة من أبو الإنترنت دان خابرة ويمهم المشكلة فكل ساعة يقطع ويرجع، فآسفة يعني إنه ما جاوبتك.
لا أوكي شهد، أنا أعرف أنت عندك مشكلة، لأن الطلاب دا أصيحهم ما دا يجاوبون، فواضح أكو مشكلة، لأن هي جاوبتني وبعدين بطلت وأنت همينة بالدخول. يلا مو مشكلة، يلا أياد ومحمد عصام. هسه هنا أياد ذا بوي، محمد عصام ذا بوي، وأياد راح will be سانتياغو السطر اللي بعده، وهكذا. Tell me about the baseball, the boy asked him. Yes أياد.
In the American League, it's the Yankees, as I said. The old man said happily.
طب ما سمعنا شيء. أنا حقرأ. They lost today in the American League. هذا أكو اتحاد الأمريكي. It is the Yankees, as I said. The old man said the Yankees. The old man said happily. The Yankees who are يعني he told him tell me about baseball. Tell me about baseball. The boy asked him. The old man said the Yankees, as I said. He means that the Yankees are you know so bright in playing baseball, this kind of sport. They lost today, the boy said. They lost today, the Yankees. That means nothing. It means so what if they lost? The great DiMaggio is himself again. They have this player, DiMaggio. So even if they lost today, DiMaggio will get the winning again in the second match, on the next match, pardon, not second, the next match. They have other men on the team. Mentioned the young man, the boy said they have other men on the team. There are other men. Why only you mentioned DiMaggio? It is the Santiago, or the old man, is fascinated by DiMaggio only because he's a good player. There are certain situations for DiMaggio in which the old man connected or united himself with it. Yes. Here, this is the connection of Santiago with DiMaggio. Here, this is a situation in which the old man is on the sea and he is suffering. He's suffering because of coldness, because he is tired. He said, I must have confidence and I must be worthy of the great DiMaggio, who does all things perfectly, even with the pain of the bone spur in his heel. Now, DiMaggio is a baseball player. In one of the matches, he got a pain of bone spur, but he continued playing. He didn't stop, didn't withdraw, he continued playing. فهنا نوقف اللي هنا ونكمل إن شاء الله بالمحاضرة الأخرى اللي هي بالعشرة و45 دقيقة. Thank you very much for attending. I hope that your problems with the internet will be solved.